there are three different types of users. You have an individual or a primary, which is you are the only person responsible for that credit card. Okay? The second one is a joint or a co-signer, where you obviously share that financial responsibility. The last one is what's called an authorized user. The authorized user is for that, your son or daughter that goes away to college and they have a credit card that they need to use for emergencies. At least you pray it's for emergencies only. They may go a little crazy on it. And that is the pecking order, so to speak. So you have primary, joint, authorized user. Years ago, and I would say back in 2006 was about years ago, you could actually, there was a loophole in the system. If I add myself to your credit card as an authorized user, you've had American Express for 20 years, okay? I can literally, within a month or so, when that reports on my credit, I could literally piggyback, the term was, and borrow her 20 years of positive good credit history. There was a huge article that went out from a guy in Florida that he paid some company like $2,000. He got put on, he was like a 520 or 540. And he got himself put on like 4 different credit cards. It cost him like $2,000, and he went from a 540 to like a 730 in literally a month or 2 months. Well, that, thanks to the media that we have today, that news story ended up going from the Florida paper to the internet to a nationwide story, and then literally Fannie Mae not Fannie Mae, FICO actually just cut the authorized user out from all the models. And then there was a big uproar because, what about the people that actually do need that, such as son and daughter? So what they did is they kind of went back, changed their model in their next scoring system, and now you still get credit, so don't get me wrong. It's still going to help you and help someone's credit score, but it's going to help them nowhere near as a primary or joint. And if you think about it, when you're an authorized user, that means you are not financially responsible for the card, okay? When you're a joint, you're financially responsible. When you're a primary, you're financially responsible. So you got level 1, 2, and 3. Well, it makes all the sense in the world that level 1, when you're the only person responsible, you're going to get the most credit, so to speak. Joint, you'll still get a lot of good credit, but you're not going to get as much credit for it as if you were by yourself. An authorized user, you do get a little history, a little credit on it, but you don't get nearly as much as if you were actually one of the ones financially responsible. So there's lots of different times you may have a client that's an authorized user on all of their credit cards, and it's their mom or their cousin or their brother, whoever the case may be. Well, that's great, and I've actually heard there's some lenders that actually kind of don't count that just because the fact, and that might be banks or credit cards. I mean, there's so many different things that go on these days because they're always changing their little guidelines. So you want, if you don't have a client that has a credit card, or, oh yeah, I'm an authorized user on 3 of my mom's cards, that's great, we need to get you one for yourself. Because that'll give you that 5 or 10 points, sometimes within a month's time frame, to be able to do that. Okay, and like I said, just make sure that they don't have a judgment, make sure they don't have a tax lien, because even if a credit person got that off their credit, it's going to come back and bite them in the butt and eventually bite you too.